Hi, Shardul.
Hi, Abhishek. Hello.
Yeah, just a second.
Okay, okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, Shardul.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes, you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Shardul, we have Abhilash with here today. Okay, Abhilash is a trainer. Since from last 5 years, he has been teaching C++. He basically is a software engineer where he builds applications. And his expertise are React JS, Node.js, as well as C++ as well. So, Abhilash, I'll quickly tell you the agenda of the meeting. Yeah, Shardul?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
yeah, Abhilash, are you there with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh, so Abhilash, we had discussed regarding Shardul in the afternoon. So I would like to request you to take the call ahead, okay? And Shardul, even I just a minute. Even I want you to share me a brief report about the questions you are asking to Shardul, okay? And even I want you to rate him according to it. Yeah,
Sure, we'll do that.
please go ahead, guys. Shardul, please cooperate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, shall I start?
Yeah.
Okay, so before starting, feel free, relaxed. I mean, there is no need to worry about anything. Okay, so
Okay.
please be comfortable, and we'll see how we can go ahead. Okay,
Okay.
so can you brief me about yourself?
Yeah. I would describe myself as a software professional with over 3 years of experience. I recently worked at Surgeon Marketing Cloud. In the as a backend developer, I worked with C++, Python, Perl, and a bit of Java. The product was a marketing product which allowed users to send out customized emails. So there I worked for two releases. And before that, I had completed my master's in computer science.
Okay.
Uh, before that, I had worked for 2 years at Persistent Systems. I worked on two different projects there. I
Mhm.
worked on a banking portal project, which was in HTML and CSS,
Okay.
where I had enhanced the website a bit using HTML, CSS, and a bit of vanilla JavaScript. And also, after that, I had worked with IBM's multi-cloud management platform, where
Mhm.
again I was able to add more analytics cards into their dashboard about network infrastructure, the events happening in that network infrastructure. There, I worked with web frameworks like Node.js, Angular, and Golang as well. And I also
Nice.
have a bachelor's degree in computer engineering. So right now I'm looking for a job in this market, and uh, so the C++ thing is I have worked with C++ frequently, and I have some knowledge of it, and
Mm.
I'm going through. I did some course again just to get a refresher, and I'm trying
Okay.
to take a refresher every now and then just to
Mhm.
make sure that I know the basics at least. That's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to do recently.
So overall, you have worked on almost all the technologies. So starting from C++ till Python, then Angular, no, React, right?
Yeah, I worked a bit in
So
almost.
you are one of those lucky guys. I mean, in just 3 years, you have explored a lot of things. That's a
Yeah,
great thing.
yeah.
Okay. So do you know something about C language? So are you aware of C language, or you started with C++ only?
I started with C++, but I have some knowledge of C.
Okay, fine. So let's say you might be knowing about the pointers, right?
Yeah,
So whenever we pass a variable to a function, so we have three options, correct? Pass
yeah.
by value, pass by reference, pass by address. So right. So do you know the difference between these three? Why we need to do like that?
Difference between call by
Pass by,
value and
yeah,
call
you
by
have, yeah, call
reference,
what
right?
is, yeah, what is called by value, what is called by reference, and what is called by pointer or called by address as well. You can consider.
So in call by value, you're modifying the actual value, and in call by reference, you're just passing the addresses.
Correct.
So and in call by pointer, as far as I know, you're passing a pointer which has the address stored.
Okay.
You're I guess you can say when you call by pointer, it affects the original argument whenever like
Correct.
any
Correct.
sort of changes.
So
And
do you know
call by value is way
what
more
are the
simpler.
references?
Sorry, yeah.
Do you know the what are the references?
References as in.
Reference in C++.
Oh, reference is like an alias
Correct.
for a variable, alternate name
Correct.
alias.
So let's say if I say pointer and a reference, so is there any difference between these two?
Yeah, pointer is used to store the address of another
Correct.
variable, and
Correct.
reference is just like the alternate name for it. You can say
Correct.
you're trying to access the variable. They have like there's a
So,
distinction.
so in short,
Uh,
reference is just another name for that existing variable. Correct.
yes.
Yep. Fine. Another difference. Anything else apart from this? Which is
So to access a value with a pointer, you use the operator star.
correct.
Pointers, you can
We have to do
increment and
reference.
decrement a pointer, and
Okay.
reference is just like a normal variable. There's no
Correct.
special syntax
So
with
we
it.
have to dereference it. We can call it, right?
Yeah, you have to
We have to
dereference
need
it.
to dereference the reference. So pointers, we have to dereference it. Anything
Yeah.
else? For example, can I assign a null value to a reference?
No, it has to be a value because you cannot have an alternative to null, and for a pointer, you can always point it to like no space, like default value can be null.
Perfect, perfect. So it's kind of, I mean, the reference needs to be initialized at the beginning. I mean, you cannot reinitialize references. You can really assign different values to pointer. Right?
So it is sort of like immutable and immutable, right?
Yeah. For example, if I initialize a reference, I have to give the value in the beginning only. I mean, at the time of declaration. I
Yeah,
cannot assign different value to the reference once it is assigned.
yeah,
In case of pointers, we can do that. Perfect.
yes.
So do you know what is a copy constructor?
Copy constructor is when you use a already existing created object to assign it to a new object that you're going to create.
So
Yeah,
can you just write, let's say if name of my class is, let's say circle. So
yeah.
do you know, can you write the syntax for it? You can paste in the chats. I don't have any issues. The
Okay.
syntax for copy constructor.
Circle, right?
Circle. You can take any class name. That is not the problem.
Okay.
Just let me know what is the class name you are going to consider.
So I'm assuming circle class only since you mentioned that, and
Fine.
that's the one. So I am writing just the constructor how it will be written. So the circle
Yeah,
constructor, but in that you're passing the const object,
correct.
and then you're passing a reference to the existing object that you have.
Correct.
Yeah, and default constructor is a shallow copy, and I think for deep copy you need to create like a custom copy constructor, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
So here you have used ampersand, right? So do you know what is the meaning of this?
You're passing by reference.
Any specific reason? I mean, what will happen if we do not pass as a reference? Is it mandatory for it?
No, but I think uh, if you pass it by value, it is more inefficient as you're copying the entire object there, right?
Any specific reason why it is not efficient? I mean, let's say if I'm passing it as a value, right? So what will
Yeah,
happen? I'm just trying to obey it, right? So
yeah.
either pass it by reference or pass it by value.
So by value, when you're passing it by value, you get a copy of it. So every time there, if you pass it by value, if there are many function calls, there always will be a copy created. So that was, I think, unnecessary memory usage. And if you
Okay.
pass it by reference,
Mhm.
and so you can make changes to the original argument as well. And in
Correct.
call by value, you cannot do
We
that.
can make it
So
constant, right? So we
yeah,
have keyword. So we can make it constant. So no one can make changes to it.
yeah.
So is it mandatory to write that ampersand or pass it by reference only?
It's not mandatory, but I think it's recommended or rather than mandatory.
Ideally, it's mandatory. Just think of a case. I mean, the need of copy constructor is you are trying to copy an item into another item, right? So let's say
Yeah.
we have an object, existing object. We are trying to create an object from another object. So if you make it call by value, correct? So indirectly you are trying to pass that object into this object. So here you are going to call the copy constructor one more time. So it will go into infinite loop. Okay,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
correct?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't
Correct.
know that. Yeah.
So
Okay.
there are four scenarios when the copy constructor will get called. So you have to recall all the four. So you will understood it. Okay. So
Okay.
you might be knowing about the operator overloading as well.
Yeah, you're using the operator to carry out a task which is not its original assigned role in a way. Like for addition, you can do it for complex numbers. You're adding coordinate values, so you're overloading it. You're enhancing its functionality in a way. You're
Okay.
using the operator keyword.
Got it. So you might be knowing about the equals to operator. So we can overload equals operator, correct?
Yeah.
Then what
No. Sorry, you can't. You can't.
we can, there is
Uh,
only operator which we cannot overload, that is scope resolution.
yeah, scope resolution we can.
We cannot
Uh,
overload that.
yeah, yeah.
Apart from scope resolution, we can overload all the operators,
Okay.
correct? So
Yes.
for yes, we
Yeah.
can.
I was
So
confusing it with that. Like
no,
confusing it as in like I thought it belonged to that group, like similar
no,
to what.
no, I mean, we can do that. Okay, so
Yeah,
it happens. I can understand. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
then the copy construct is going to do the same thing, right? So where we are trying to copy one object into another at the same time, if we talk about the assignment operator, it is going to do the same things, correct?
yeah, yeah.
So what is the difference between these two?
Uh, Between copy constructor and
And assign. So let's say I have pasted something in the chat, so you can see four lines, right? So the
yeah,
first option is copy constructor, second option is assignment operator. So let's say if
yeah,
I do not overload copy constructor and I just overloaded the equals to operator, correct?
yeah,
Again, I'm going to do the same thing. My
yeah,
purpose is I just want to copy one object into another object, correct? Both are doing the
yeah,
same.
yeah,
If I say copy constructor, it is going to copy one object into another object, be it
yeah.
a short copy or be it a deep copy. Based on our logic, it is going to define, right? So we can, I mean, by writing copy constructor, we can make a shallow copy, correct? It's possible.
Yes, yeah,
We do not want shallow copy. That's why we write copy constructor and we make it a deep copy. So exactly
yeah,
same we can achieve using assignment operator as well.
yeah. But in I think assignment operator, you are assigning new values to already created objects rather than in actually creating the new object like in copy constructor. The copy
can you tell me one more time?
Copy constructor is used when you're actually initializing the object at inception,
Okay.
and assignment operator is for if you have declared like a default object like circle C1, which doesn't have any parameters, like it has
Correct.
default value, and you are assigning it new values, so you can do that. Well,
Okay, so there are 4 lines. So can you tell me in which line, which constructor or which assignment, what things will get called? So there are total 4 lines, line number 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So
yeah.
in line number 1, what will happen? Which constructor will get called?
Line number 1, I think line number 1 will be having the default constructor we are calling.
Correct. Correct.
And then line number 2, we have the assignment operator.
Okay.
Sorry, copy constructor. Sorry, we are my initial copy constructor. And
Okay.
line number 3 again default constructor.
Correct.
And line number 4 will have the assignment operator.
Okay. What will happen if say if I if I write like this? Okay, it's possible. If I give same value to assign into the same variable, C1 equals to C2 for assignment operator, it's possible, right?
Yeah.
So what should happen in this scenario?
So this statement is executed when?
Assignment operator. So
like in the order, sorry, in the order. I was confused.
I didn't get your question.
So we have executed the first 4 statements and then we are executing the 5th statement, right?
Yeah, you can consider that any sequence. Sequence doesn't matter in this scenario actually. Sorry, let me make some changes. Just a second, I made a mistake. Okay.
Yeah.
What will happen if I write like this?
Okay. It should be fine. I'm not sure. It should be fine. I don't see. It will not do anything. Like it won't change anything.
Yeah, it will not change anything, but you can consider, let's say, if the memories are allocated dynamically, so it is going to create a new copy. So let's say we are creating a deep copy, correct?
Yeah.
So it is going to allocate a new memory.
Okay, again. Yeah.
Again, it depends on the what logic we are writing. So ideally, we have to make sure that if we are assigning same variable to the same variable, ideally logic should be written in the assignment operator. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So do you know what is polymorphism?
Yeah, you are using one constructor name. Sorry, not one constructor, one function to carry out like multiple. By passing it different parameters, you can work with different value, like different outputs. Like for addition, you can do for like 3 integers, 2 floats.
Okay.
That is the one I could think of the top of my head.
So there are 2 types, right, of polymorphism.
Yeah, compile time of polymorphism and runtime. Compile time is, I think, operator overloading, and runtime is your virtual functions, inheritance, and virtual functions.
Correct. It's method overloading or function overloading is the compile time.
Yeah.
And function overriding is the runtime. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between these two? I mean, what happens exactly at the compile time polymorphism?
So in compile time, what function to be called is determined during the compilation stage, and in runtime you're deciding that at the runtime based on the object and the point object being called.
Let's say I want to overload a function. So what are the requirements, or what I should write, or what are the things which needs to be taken care?
So in function overloading, you need to define like multiple functions with the same name, but they'll have different parameters and they'll be in the same scope.
Correct. What about the return type?
They'll have different return types as well. It's not necessary for them to have same return types or different return types. They just need to have different parameters.
Correct.
Yeah.
And what about method overriding or function overriding?
There you need to use the keyword virtual. So if you have this base class and derived class and they have similar functions there,
Mhm.
so there you can use the word virtual for the keyword for the base class, and for the derived class you can use override.
Okay. So is it mandatory to write override?
No, it will one. I think if we write virtual, it will not automatically do that.
Okay. And what about the number of parameters, sequence, or the signature and return type,
The function needs to be entirely same with the return type, the parameters, everything.
including return type, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So can we overload constructor?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about destructor? Can we overload destructor?
No, you cannot overload this.
Any specific reason for that?
Destructor is called after the object has been destroyed, so it won't work.
So what will happen? So we can ideally we should have that option, right?
Uh,
Your answer is correct, but your justification is not correct. Can you
okay, yeah, I'm trying to think. So I think constructors you can have multiple, but I think destructor is only one.
yeah, any
So
specific
because
reason for that?
uh,
Just a simple question. Can we pass any parameters to destructor?
no, you cannot.
So we cannot overload that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, you cannot overload that. Its
destructor,
functionality cannot change, and it
exactly.
goes.
So in
Yeah,
case of destructor, we cannot pass any variables to the destructor. That's why we cannot overload it. If you pass any variables to destructor, it means it will not become a destructor, right?
yeah.
Correct. And do you know about anything about the virtual functions or the keyword virtual?
It is used to let the compiler know that this class is not going to be called,
Mhm.
and sometimes they are used in like abstract classes.
Mhm. So let's suppose an example. So I have a base class, I have a derived class. Okay,
Okay.
I have overridden a method. You can take example of any method. Okay, let's say there is a method called ABCD or test, anything. Okay,
Yeah.
the base class, I haven't wrote the keyword virtual, and I tried to call that method using base class pointer. So what will happen? Which method will get called? It's a base class or child class?
There will be an error, right? Because the compiler will not be sure which method to call.
No,
No,
it will work.
no. For base class, if you are using the base class object, then it will call the base class function.
But let's say it's a base class pointer, but my object is of child class.
Then it will call the derived class,
Okay, try this.
right?
Okay, you can give a try to this. It will give call to the base class only.
Okay, yeah. But
Specific
I think
reason.
I recently tried that code again, and it
If you
was
write the keyword virtual, it is going to give call to the base class. If you do not write the keyword virtual, it is going to give call to the base class.
okay. But in both cases, it's calling the base class.
No, no, no. If you have written the keyword as virtual, in such scenarios, it is going to the child class and child class method will get called. The derived class method. Okay.
Okay.
Virtual keyword is not there, then base class method is going to get called.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So can we can we can destructors be virtual?
Uh, yeah. If you have a virtual like class with virtual functions, you can have a virtual destructor.
One more time. Something is
Sorry.
wrong. Something is wrong.
Uh, I think you can have virtual destructors, right? I've seen
We can
some.
have virtual destructors.
Like you're trying to delete the resources in like a proper order, right?
Correct.
Yeah, like first base class, first derived class, then base class accordingly.
In which
You know,
scenarios we need it?
yeah. During inheritance.
Uh, oh, but
Yeah, you're trying to delete like an object of a derived class which has been called through like a base class somehow, like using a pointer.
mhm.
I think there it might be useful.
I mean, why it is needed at such scenario? What is the need of that virtual destructor? So everything was going good, right?
Yeah.
So in specific reason we need virtual as destructor. Sorry, destructors as a virtual.
Uh,
So let's say I have a base class, I have a child class, correct? So I have constructor, destructor both written in both the classes. Okay,
yeah. Yeah.
and everything is fine, right?
Yeah.
So why we need I mean, what is the scenario when we need to make the destructor as virtual?
So like I mentioned, if you have a derived class object which has been called through base class, and if you don't have like a virtual destructor, I think it will only call the base class destructor. So the base class destructor will only only destroy the base class object. The derived class object will remain as it is, and there can be there's memory leak, and it will cause some cleanup issues. So it is better to ensure that you are able to call the derived class.
Okay, fine. So probably the last or second last question. So can you share your screen for that, or and you can open any ID, or you can open Notepad as well. I'll just give you the code. You just have to tell me what will happen.
Okay. Just a second.
Yeah, sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's taking time. Okay, fine. Okay, so let's take an example. I forgot the question. My bad. Okay, so write the class. You can give any name to it. Yep. Open nothing. Bus. That's it.
Okay.
I do not need anything. Write a main method.
Yeah. Okay.
In the same. It will fine. It's fine in the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and if we just print out a statement, see out size of ABC, size of operator. Just print the size of ABC. Let me show it.
Okay.
Okay, I have pasted in the chat.
Okay. So I think for class, if you don't define any type, I think it should be one.
Okay, now you can create an object of class ABC
Okay.
in the main.
ABC A1.
Okay, and check the size of A1.
I think it should be still one, right? I'll
Any
I'm not
specific reason for one? I mean, we have nothing in the class.
Yeah, so default constructor is called. There are no variables with it.
No? I mean, yeah, default constructor will get called. That is true, but why we need? I mean, if nothing is there in the class, then ideally its size should be 0, right?
Oh no, by default, class uh, has some size because you are ensuring that each object that will be created will have like a unique
Right.
separate address of its own. So size of an empty class is by default 1 byte.
Okay,
You are ensuring that it has some record of it in a way.
perfect. So just write a method, a public method in class ABC. Okay, so let's say public. In the public section, you can write a method void do something. You can write any method. So the name is not okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can leave it empty. Now, what will be the size of this class?
I think for void also a void will give 0 value, right? So it should be same. If we give like a int, then it might change, but for void it will remain the same.
Same means what? 1 or 0?
1. It will
Okay.
remain 1.
If we change the return type to int, then
Uh, it should be 1 plus 2, 3.
1 plus 2, why 2?
By default, int has 2 bytes in memory for C++.
It's based on the operating system. So
Yeah,
if you are using 32 bits, it's 2 bytes. If you are using 64, it's
4
4.
bytes for, yeah.
Okay, fine. So make it void again. And instead void, just write keyword virtual in front of void.
Okay.
I want to make this function as virtual. Now what will be the size of this class or the object of this class?
I am not sure. It should be still 1. But
Okay.
I think it's wrong. I don't know why.
Okay. So maybe after this session, you can definitely give a try to it. Okay. So you'll explore a lot of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I mean, this is just for the, I mean, even I have tried the same things when I was not sure about these things. You can give it a try and you will find, I mean, some shocking results.
Yeah, like logically, I think it should be still 0. Like virtual should not add anything.
It will add something. So have you ever imagined, I mean, how the virtual is going to work, how the compiler knows that I have to call the base class, sorry, child class method, not the base class method? There should be something, right?
Yeah, I think.
The moment we write virtual, automatically derived class method will get called, correct?
Okay, yeah, I
Right?
think virtual is sort of like a pointer then. Is it like a pointer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So have you ever heard about the VPTR, VTable?
I have heard of it. Yeah, a bit. Yeah, I've heard of
So
it. Yeah.
you can explore that. Okay, the size will be 4.
Yeah,
Based on the operating system.
operating system.
If
Yeah.
it's you will find it 2. If it's 64, you will find it 4. Okay, so pointer will get added. That is called as V pointer or virtual pointer. So
Okay.
that size will become 4. Okay,
Yeah.
if it's a 64-bit machine. For 32,
Yeah.
you can divide by 2. So let's try a few more things. You can delete the entire thing from the class ABC.
Okay.
Only the class, okay? Just write few data members. So let's say if you write integer, let's say a1, you can write anything. Now what will be the size of this class?
Depending on the operating system, it would be either 3 or 5. 32-bit, it will be 3. 64-bit, it will be 5.
Why 3 or why 5?
Because class will have by default 1 value and then you're adding to it.
No. So it will be either 4 bytes or 2 bytes.
Oh, if we create like an object, it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So
Yeah.
if
Okay.
you do not have anything in the class, by default is 1. If you create some, I mean, if you add some data member straight, then it will be
Then
the total of that data members, the same as structure or structure thing, right?
okay. Yeah, makes
Let's
sense.
say if you add one more integer, let's say a2. Now,
Yeah.
assuming that this operating system is 64-bit.
8 bytes.
Perfect. Let's add a character pointer or a character array
Character array.
of, let's say, size 4.
Okay.
Now
Uh,
you can delete
4.
one integer. It will be easier for us to
Okay.
it one integer only.
Okay. So just int a1 and char a4, right?
Yeah, but that's it. Yep. What will be the
So
size?
in 64-bit, it should be 8 plus 2, 10. Sorry, 12.
8. How come 8?
I'm assuming for character you require 2 bytes in
No,
64-bit.
that's 1 byte only.
1 byte only. Then it will be 4 plus 2, 6.
Okay, so instead of let's say 4, let me make it 6. Now,
Now it will be in 64 or 10. 10.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will give as 12.
Uh,
Whenever you get the memory blocks, so you get in the chunk of 4 bytes. Okay, so always you will get the memory in the blocks of 4 bytes. So even though we need only 10 bytes, so it will allocate 12 bytes of memory to us.
why the extra 2 bytes?
because always whenever we ask for the memory, we always get memory in blocks of 4. Okay, assuming it's a 64 bit. So even though we need 6 bytes of memory, if there is an integer, so it will overall it will get calculated 6 plus 4, that is 10. But it can
Okay.
allow it, or it can allocate the memory in the bytes of 4, so it will give us the 12 bytes of memory. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, probably the last question from my side. So all the answers given by you were the confident, I mean, you were confident about those, or few of them were like Jay Mata Di?
No, some of them like they slipped my mind, but I have some
Okay,
memory of them. Yeah.
perfect, no worries. So yeah, I'm done with the all the questions, so I don't have anything else. So do
Okay.
you have questions for me?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Can I just stop sharing my screen? Then I'll ask.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, in like most interviews I've seen, like they have asked these kinds of questions only, and for lead code I've done like Python only because I think that for me that is more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so are there any more questions based on latest versions of C++ that are being asked? Because I have only been asked mostly like these kinds of questions, like related to classic C++ with all the oops concepts and everything.
Mhm. Okay. So most of the times it may happen that all the companies are going to use the C++ version, which is of 11. Okay, 11 or less than that.
Yeah.
There is any new requirement, or if there is any new project in such scenarios, they, I mean, they are open to use few features of C++ 14 and 17. Okay,
Okay.
and
Correct.
and if an interviewer wants to know that whether you are updated with the what are the current technologies or what are the latest features with the existing languages, they can ask you. They can
Yeah.
ask you features of C++ 14 as well, C++ 17 as well, and be prepared that they may ask you about the C++ features of 98 as well and 11 as well.
Okay. Because
Like
I think I have used C++ 11 the most. Like I think that's the most famous
most
one.
of the, yeah, most of the times we use C++ 11 only, but
Yeah.
C++ 14 and 17 are there in the market. So I mean, the features are good enough. So there are a lot of features. I mean, you can explore those features as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that question has always been like in my mind as to what they would ask about the new versions. Like even though I can say I'm familiar with them, I need to study about them a bit as well.
At
And
least you should know few features which it will be needed in the at least day-to-day life. Okay, so at least you should know 7 to 8 features from each version, at least. Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else apart from that?
Uh, in system design
Mhm.
questions, is it better to use like C++ terminology, or like if I'm comfortable with that, can I just say like if a parking lot question is asked, so can I say like class car, then you'll inherit something from it, like things like that.
Technology is always like, I mean, you can use any technology. Okay, so it's kind of, let's say if you know C++ concepts, just example. Okay, the
Yeah.
oops is for each and everything, all the
Yeah.
languages, correct?
Yeah.
So in
Yeah.
Python also abstraction means same, inheritance means same, base class means meaning is same, correct?
Yeah.
So things are not going to change in any language.
Yeah.
Okay, language to language, one or two things are there which may get, I mean, different, right? So in case of, let's say, if you compare C++ and Java, so in case of C++, we have a virtual keyword, but Java says no, we do not support the keyword virtual, correct? Because
Yeah.
they want to remove the terminology related with the pointers. The moment we write virtual, it is going to introduce the pointers. So that's why they have removed that, correct? So
Yeah.
that's the thing. I mean, even if you, I'm not aware of the Python. I mean, I have not worked on the Python much, but yeah, based on the programming language, few things may vary, but the core concept will remain same always. Even if you go for C# as well, all the things will, I mean, your for loop is not going to change. Its functionality is not going to change anywhere, correct?
Yeah.
Be it a script, be it a C, be it a C++, in any language. So these are the core concepts, and those are not going to change at any cost.
Yeah.
So you can use any specific language. So let's say if you're comfortable with C++, you can use the C++ terminologies. That's fine. But make sure that, I mean, you are using it in a correct way.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Okay,
do that. Yeah.
fine. Okay, so I'm done already. I'll
Uh,
let
ye-
yeah, please go ahead.
yeah, I also don't have any other questions. I also have like 3 interviews today, so this really helped me like brush
Mm,
up on some like some basics again and some questions, some things I
Just
didn't know
do
about.
whenever you are
Uh,
going in any interview, okay? So
yeah,
make sure that you have to remember all the questions.
yeah,
You have to remember all the questions plus all the answers given by you. Okay.
yeah,
After each interview, you have to recall all the interview questions, all the answers you have given. You have to cross verify all the questions and answers. Okay. This is the first task.
yes,
Sometimes it may happen that interviewer will ask you a question. You may answer it, you may not answer it, or sometimes only you will feel that, oh, I answered the question correct. I answered the question, but I'm not sure whether that was correct or not. Correct.
mm,
It happens
yeah,
sometimes. You have to check that questions as well.
yeah,
Correct. So you have to take feedback from yourself because you can be loyal to yourself only. So after
yeah,
you are the only person who knows what you have answered, whether it was correct, whether it was wrong. Correct.
yeah,
just
yeah,
just make a habit of that. So after each and every interview, just try to recall the questions. If any coding questions are there, you have to implement that questions. You have to see if someone is going to ask you a question in interview, it means it is not going to behave in the same way. Correct. It's not the
yeah,
not. That's the hint. Correct.
yeah,
if i'm
yeah,
if I'm going to ask you about, let's say, if I'm going to ask you about the size of a class, correct? So obviously we know that it is not a normal case. Correct.
yeah, yeah,
If it's normal, then I should have used what is the size of integer, what is the size of character, correct?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so you have to make sure that, I mean, you are going to take the feedback from yourself. You have to learn from your own mistakes. Only those mistakes can, I mean, make you more better. Okay.
yeah,
And the next time whenever someone will ask you the same question, you'll be more confident.
yeah,
Right? So
yeah,
let's suppose if I ask you something, you answered me, and after that, I mean, you are not going to validate your questions and answer. In the next interview, you are going to answer the same way. You're not going to change your answer, correct?
yeah. That's why I need to
So
like
you do not know whether you have answered it correctly or no.
yeah,
So
you have to make sure that you know if you're answering correctly or not later.
sometimes we may feel like that, oh, I have answered correctly, but it may be wrong, correct?
Yeah,
So we have to, I mean, make sure that we are answering correctly. So we have to just validate our answer with the Google, or you can take help of any faculties.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All the best for your interviews and have a good day.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. This was really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Hi, Apeksha. Apeksha, you there? I guess she's not here. So yeah, I'm dropping the call. Shardul, you can drop the call. Maybe
Okay.
she will drop.
Yeah, I'll contact her and tell her
Yeah,
about it.
sure. I'll share the feedback with her and I'll be in touch with her. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah. Bye.
Bye.